Good morning. It is Wednesday, July 19th, 2017. I'm here. It's the Bitter Knitters podcast. I'm Jacqueline. I'm here with Arthur.
Hey.
And recovered from his extreme bout of syphilis, Ryan is returned.
Excuse me, it was not syphilis, it was gonorrhea.
Oh, sorry. We're so close. So how are you guys this morning?
Meh. That typical millennial Wednesday. Fucking response. Meh. I'm indifferent.
So let's get into it.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, right after our other show, and I thought, oh my gosh, what is this guy getting up to now? R. Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Been kind of quiet for the last little while after all the scandal he had back in the day. We all know that he was trapped in the closet, yeah. Referring back to the time when he was charged for child pornography. He was found, I don't know if he was found not guilty or if he was innocent or acquitted, but he didn't go to jail for it. I know that he wasn't found guilty.
Mm-hmm.
That was the infamous sex tape with the 14-year-old girl and the peeing. We know that he was married to Aaliyah when she was 14 or 15 years old. So he has a history of some alleged stuff with young girls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some families have come out and said that he is holding their daughters against their will in a quote-unquote cult. From what I'm reading here, 3 women that used to be involved in his entourage, Mac, Kitty Jones, and Asante McGee, they're giving details saying that when you're in his cult or in his entourage, he tells you when you can shower, when you can use the phone, use the TV, everything. There is a lady, this is some of the accusations. There's a den mother who trains the newcomers on how R. Kelly likes to be pleasured sexually.
Mm-hmm.
There's an 18-year-old girl who is his number 1 favorite girl. There's a few other girls, an 18-year-old aspiring model. There's a 26-year-old songwriter. We've got a 25-year-old woman who's been in the scene for 7 years. So if she's 25 and she's been there for 7 years,
yeah,
she was 17 when she arrived. I looked this up. The age of consent in Illinois, where they live most of the time, is 17. So
yeah.
He's not technically breaking any laws. They call him daddy. They must have his permission to do anything, literally anything. And according to them, if you break his rules or piss him off, he does use physical punishment. The parents of these girls are saying that they can't have any contact and they won't leave him. Or can't leave him. What do you guys think?
Okay. I'm not going to say anything crazy about this, because number 1, the 2 facts that you had stated, and again, people, it's facts. It really did happen. He really did marry Aaliyah. He really did pee on someone, drip, drip, drip.
Yeah.
Those are true, and clearly, like I said, when we were meeting earlier, he has a fascination with young girls. That's clear, right? That's a clear intent on his behalf. This I don't want to comment on quite yet, or as much as I want to, because I kind of want to wait if there's any more coming out on it. You know what I mean? I don't want to just bash him just to bash him. But I do think there's partly maybe some truth to it. I will say that these girls must be like really, really obsessed with him to have had been in that situation to begin with. You know what I mean?
But do you think it was an obsession, or do you think it was like they saw it as an option to get famous or live the high life, and now they can't get out?
There's always that aspect.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I'm reading that one of the girls is saying that her parents are the one that introduced her to R. Kelly in hopes that she would have a career. They knew about the Aaliyah thing, and they still thought, well, we'll be around her and keep her safe. But
that didn't happen.
I don't know. I kind of think it just goes to people's obsession with celebrity and wanting to be close to celebrities and live that celebrity life. And I mean, you know, most people would think that's appealing. Like, oh, I get to go live with R. Kelly and fucking, you know, yada, yada, yada. Maybe get peed on. I don't fucking know.
Drip, drip, drip.
I think a lot of people, excuse me, a lot of people probably didn't believe he even did it.
Well, didn't they?
Because, I mean, if you remember back in the time, there was a lot of, you know, I mean, majority of the people were saying, you know, R. Kelly's guilty. But there were a lot of people that defended him and said, no, that's not him.
Yeah, didn't they say it was like his twin brother or something like that?
Yeah, and I mean, just like when it comes to celebrity, sometimes I mean, look, the whole thing that came out with Johnny Depp and his ex, Amber Heard. I mean, people, I would say 90% of his fans said she was a liar and she set him up and she deserved what she got. You know, you talk about the Chris Brown thing. How many people are forgiving Chris Brown? And it leads you kind of to believe like lots of different things, like Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that wasn't rape, even though he literally had anal sex with a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
That her parents brought her there and said, do what you want with her. So at what point do people believe things, or do they forgive it because it is a celebrity?
I think it's a matter of forgetting as much as it is about forgiving sometimes. I think after some time has passed, people tend to forget, or this character or celebrity does something that may be somewhat good, or does something that's kind of popular, and we tend to, you know, forget.
Or is it just denial because we love somebody like Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people love Michael Jackson despite all the allegations in the trial, and to this day believe he was completely 100% innocent and that nothing untoward happened?
Well, I think the behavior that some celebrities have are downright bizarre. I'm, you know, to speak on the whole Michael Jackson thing, it's weird to have an obsession with young boys. And let's not call it anything less than an obsession. You were sleeping next to these kids. You know what I mean? These little boys.
Sleeping in a bed with somebody that's not your child. After, like, you know, maybe they're one or two.
Or related to you.
Yeah, or related to you. But I mean, you know, like, I think it would be weird if Arthur suddenly started to sleep in the same bed as my children.
No doubt.
Right? That would be weird.
Because I feel like there's always a line of appropriateness that you need to have. You know what I mean? Not just as a celebrity, but as a human being. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm not trying to hold celebrities to a higher standard than I hold myself to. But I do think that sometimes you have to keep in mind, as a celebrity, your life is public. And you will be scrutinized and publicized much more than someone like me, or, you know, regular Joe Schmo walking down the street. But I do think that sometimes there's a lot of, what do you call that? Stuff being thrown around that's maybe taken out of context by some people. I'm not trying to save R. Kelly or anything like that, but if this was true, how much of it maybe is a little bit over dramatized by some of the accounts? You know what I mean? Not to disenfranchise these girls from what they're saying, but is it all maybe true, if any of it is true? Even, you know what I mean? You're alleging these things, but then, because part of me is like, with those parents, shouldn't you be held accountable for that too? You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely. But I mean,
there.
If you're sending your kid to an R. Kelly fucking rape camp, the parents absolutely need to be fucking held accountable.
Yeah, 100%. The same with, like, you know, the people that let their kids go with Michael Jackson after the first couple of allegations came out.
Yes.
You can continue to send your kid there. You basically were pimping your kid out for some money and fame.
Yeah.
I will say this. I don't know if I knew this or I'd forgotten it. I don't know. Apparently he's had at least a dozen or more civil lawsuits that they were all settled out of court for cash payments. And a Chicago attorney, I don't know if she was his or she just represented the people involved. She declined to say her name is Susan E. Loggins. She declined to say how many settlements she has negotiated with Kelly before lawsuits were ever filed, but she said they were, quote, numerous and have recently included one for a 17-year-old aspiring singer from Chicago who is said to have been part of Kelly's inner circle. She says there's no... she can't discuss the terms of the settlement, and that the women involved in these are also have signed non-disclosure and can't comment.
It kind of reminds me a bit of Scientology in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
That weird, like, no, don't talk about it. Can't talk about it. Like, that sounds cultish as fuck to me.
But isn't kind of any form of religion somewhat cultish?
Yeah.
At least I think, yeah.
From my understanding of what a cult is, it essentially anything that beats you down and makes you question who you are, and then they build you up in their image is a cult.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, celebrity is one step away. Any celebrity that you worship. I mean, I am a huge Robbie Williams fan, and let me tell you, I've seen some very strange behavior from his fandom in the years.
Oh, yeah,
like insane things.
Voyeur.
Yeah, that like people will do and try to do for Robbie Williams. I mean, I knew a girl who she had no framed pictures of her husband or kids in the house, but she had framed pictures of Robbie Williams.
That's what
all over her house.
And
she carried pictures of him in her wallet. Wouldn't have sex with her husband unless his music was playing. It's just very strange.
That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, and her husband was okay with that because apparently he was obsessed with Rose Byrne, and that was his thing. So I guess when they boned each other, they just looked at pictures of Robbie Williams and Rose Byrne.
Did they wear masks? Did they get like magazine cutouts and fucking cut out the eyes and shit?
Oh my god,
I wouldn't doubt that was the next step, to be honest. I kind of was like, what the hell over the other things? I didn't get even any farther. I was just like, my husband would never go for that. He'd be like, bitch, get this out of here.
That's so creepy.
Yeah, that's weird. That's so fucking weird.
That is the creepiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what comes of this. He, of course, R. Kelly, of course, is denying that this is happening, that these women are free to go whenever they want, but, they want to be with him. So, I mean, this story is not going to go away, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
No, not at all.
It's only going to grow. It's only going to grow. It's only going to get bigger. And I think he made a statement yesterday that he is going to absolutely fix his name and his image from this, and he's going to prove it in court. I hope that it's not true, but here's the fear in that, Mr. Kelly. I think you should have just stayed a little bit quiet and maybe let a little bit more reports come out, because the last thing you want to do is have to swallow your words later on. You know what I'm saying? Bill Cosby.
I mean, he could have just been with the this is not true, and I deny it 100%, that sort of thing. But yeah, you just come out and start making all these allegations.
But look at the whole Bill Cosby thing, right? I mean, right? I mean, hello.
57 women or some crazy romantic number.
You have to. Here's my thing about this. One person, I'll be like, maybe there's no truth held behind that, and I'd be like, whatever. I'm not saying that the person who is the victim, right, is not telling the truth. But when there's a lot more than one, which is just two.
And I agree that sometimes there are women, I shouldn't just say women, but there are cases where people just pile on because they want to be involved.
Exactly.
But I think that some people do come across credible. Like, is it Beverly Johnson? Was she one of the ones?
Yes. Who did it for no reason?
What does she have to? What does she have to come out? She's not getting any money for it. It's too long ago for her to sue him. I doubt she was making a ton of money in interviews. You know what I mean? And she has her own money. She was the first successful black supermodel. I don't think she needed to do that. So I think she was being truthful.
Or even when, I mean, a lot of people don't really hold her accountable, but even with Janice Dickinson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't believe her when she came out with it.
See, I did, but I knew that people wouldn't either. And I think that people saw her as a real nut job.
Well, that's the thing. Like, anybody to me that has had any kind of drug addiction or anything like that, I don't just take their word for it, because their brains are kind of fucked up at this point in time.
Fair point.
Right?
Yeah.
And again, I do understand how that can be problematic for some, and I shouldn't just write someone off because of past fucking, you know, transgressions. But I mean, knowing the junkies that I've known in my life, I just don't take their fucking word for anything.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like saying that if you're a junkie, no crimes can be committed against you.
Oh no, I'm not. I definitely can't say that, you know. But I personally find it hard to believe.
With a grain of salt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was the thing, because she was one of the first famous ones to come out. And I kind of was like, wow. And I did believe her. Just, I don't know, something about Janice I like. So I did kind of believe her. I was already believing the other women anyway. So when Janice came out, I believed her. But when more and more people came out, I thought, Jesus.
Well, you know what people always say, right? When there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
And I think that statement holds true to a certain point. But I'd love to see this story kind of progress. Hopefully, hopefully names are cleared or questions are answered. I think with R. Kelly, though, just an advice for him, it's really hard to not believe, especially when your history holds true.
R. Kelly, you're rich and famous enough, and in the music industry, you can get lots of, you know, women. You don't need to hold them captive or don't beat them. Don't be a douchebag. Stop beating women if that's the case, okay?
And the one good thing is that Ignition song came out after the whole P thing, so maybe he'll release another one of those big, huge fucking bangers again, right?
That's true. That's true.
We got that to look forward to.
I don't like him, and I don't like any of his songs, to be honest. Even I Believe I Can Fly, overrated. Sorry, people. But I know people love him.
Like that song didn't inspire you? You didn't want to get on a ladder and fucking see if you could fly?
No. No. I know I can't fly. I'm like at least 200 pounds too heavy to fly. I'll splat. Let's talk about some more delusional people. Sorry, I'm very phlegmy this morning. Disgusting word to use on the radio, phlegm. Doctors removed 27 contact lenses from woman's eye. This was all over the place the last couple of days. I'm sure you've seen it on your social media.
Yes.
But this woman went in for she's 67 years old. She's in Birmingham, England. She goes in for cataract surgery in November. Because they discovered, while they were doing it, they discovered a bluish mass under one of her eyelids. Apparently she has very deep set eyes, and that means she has kind of like a pocket up there. And they found 17 of them literally stuck together into one mass. I don't understand. Did she not know you had to take them out before you popped the next one in?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at some people's crap. I mean, surprised.
If I get a hair, like an eyelash or a little piece of dirt, let me tell you, I remember walking with my husband one time. We went to KFC, and I was walking with my bag of KFC and my pop. And something went in my eye, and I went insane and threw my pop on the ground. And my husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Something's in my eye." 27 contacts? Hell no, that could never happen to me. I don't have a deep pocket under my eyeball.
Is there like a history of mental health issues with this woman? Because
they don't, but I think there must be that you just keep sticking that in there.
Because I know a lot of people with certain mental health problems, they do weird things like that. I don't know really how to explain it, but you know, but yeah, no, that's odd. That's and again, like you're saying, how do you not know? Like, how is your vision not completely gone? 27 contact lenses, like that's not helping you out at all.
That's crazy. But I mean, it leads you to believe some of these other things that people do. Like, you know, I can remember, I don't know if this is ever true, but I can remember back when I was a teenager in the 80s, and women talking, the girls would always say how you have to be careful because you could forget your tampon in there. And I mean, through the years of my life, I've never forgotten a tampon. I don't understand how some of these things are possible.
Yeah, I've read some fairly creepy stories about women doing that, especially in the porn industry.
Ew.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that must have just been a what?
Yeah, I mean, I would say the story. I don't know it like word for word, but I remember the gist of it. I read on Reddit not that long ago, and like I got a fairly decent gag reflex. That thing made me want to throw up. Like, it was so gnarly.
Ew.
But yeah, like, I've never got it. I've never understood how you can forget, like, a foreign body in your body.
You forgot if you took your medicine for the day.
Yeah.
And then you doubled up on that. I can see something like that. I don't know. I just... How did she build them up in there? That's so weird to me. Do either of you ever wear contacts or have?
I do. I do from time to time. I'll wear not colored contact lenses, but prescription contact lenses. And they are one of the most uncomfortable things to have in your eye because do you guys remember when you get sick, your eyelids feel hot? It's almost the same sensation when you've had them on for too long. So you can definitely tell if there's something in your eye. I don't think you ever really get used to having anything in your eye.
No, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, so for me, it's impossible to have 27 contact lenses in your eye.
They don't mention this in the article, but it's only the one eye. So did she just wear a contact lens in one eye? Apparently they were monthly disposable contact lenses that she'd forgotten about. But still. I mean, did she only just do it to the one eye? Are there more in her other eye?
Maybe she's so forgetful she forgot the other eye too.
And they weren't working on that eye, so they didn't get what's in there yet?
That's so weird.
That boggles my mind. Sometimes when I see some of these things, I'm just completely mind-boggled that this can happen. I mean, maybe she started to get dementia. She's 67. Maybe she had some early dementia. I mean, that could be an excuse. Or, like Arthur said, maybe she had some mental illness. I don't know.
Yeah.
Good luck to her. I mean, hopefully now she doesn't have a cataract or something. I don't know.
That's just so... I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like...
This is what, those people that do LASIK surgery, they need to promote this so that people come in and do LASIK. Be like, look, you don't need to have 27 contact lenses stuck in your eyeball. Get LASIK.
Give more money to LASIK surgery.
Exactly. Give me some money, LASIK, because I just came up with an incredible ad campaign.
Yes.
Well, please don't sue.
Yeah, and please don't sue. No, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with LASIK. If that's what you want, good for you. Good for you. I know somebody who had it done and loved it, so... But it's weird. Let's talk about Aladdin.
Yes.
So the weekend, just like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they were going crazy about who they were going to cast as Aladdin. I had friends saying that they want so-and-so, Dev Patel. I had other people saying they wanted, I can't say his name. It's the guy from Twisted and Victorious, Avon something, or Avion. I don't know what his name is. But, they were looking, they said they wanted it to be somebody who was Muslim or
just Arabic looking,
Arabic or brown. They didn't want to whitewash it.
Yeah,
is what they were saying. So they found their Aladdin. It's a young man. I think Ryan, you said he was from Canada or raised in Canada.
Yes, he was born in Egypt, was raised in Canada. He spends his time between Toronto and LA now. His name is Mena Masood, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing anything. But he's
got a great six-pack. I'll give him that.
And you know what, too? He's the perfect size because Aladdin is lithe. He's, kind of slinky. He's not like that super buff kind of a look. Yeah. Yeah. So I think he looks great. Go ahead, sorry.
Do we know if he's been in anything? Is he famous for anything? Has he been in anything?
Do we know his IMDb?
Yeah.
Let me see.
He had an interview with Hudsucker, so I mean, somebody was interviewing him. So that's kind of interesting. The girl they hired. How come they did not in this article talk about the girl?
Because misogyny.
BuzzFeed, how racist. how sexist of you. The girl they hired is, I believe, is also part Indian or Pakistani. One of those. She's not full, but I mean, she's beautiful. She'll be a good Jasmine.
In a TV
I don't know if she's a good singer.
Called Jack Ryan.
Okay.
He plays
Jack Ryan.
Tarek Kassar.
I don't remember much of that movie, but I remember it was all right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's kind of his
Tom
thing.
Cruise flick, right?
It's
okay.
Yeah.
It's his big. This is probably his biggest.
Oh yeah.
His biggest break. The one thing I will say that I think Aladdin is going to get right, and remember, Mulan I think is meant to come out next year, the live action remake as well, and there's no announcement on casting for that yet. Is this gives a lot of opportunities to unknowns, or like people who are trying to break through the industry.
I think that's one of the reasons they go with unknowns at this point, because if you get too much I haven't seen the Beauty and the Beast remake, but I mean, you went with Emma Watson, who's a huge, well-known star, and people are saying she was good, but I think sometimes it's a little easier to be in a movie like this when you're an unknown or not super famous.
Of course. I thought that it would have been, they did the MTV Movie Awards this year, and seeing Haley Steinfeld in that Belle dress, she looked more like Belle than Emma Watson did. I feel like, though, sometimes when it comes to casting, again, and not to open up a deeper conversation about it, but you do have to be a little bit careful and stay true to the characters. We know that Aladdin was set in, oh my god, I want to get killed for this, India, right? in is it India or is it Pakistan?
The Middle East, like Saudi Arabia.
It's a made-up country, but I'd say Saudi, maybe even Turkey would be like the closest representation of it.
Okay, and we know what the people from there look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to cast someone who is of, this isn't the best description because if you're from the Middle East, you could be pale skinned with colored eyes. But to cast someone with, like, let's say my features, I'm Asian, would be kind of a little bit like what? Or to cast Mulan as a black girl would be like, oh my god.
Yeah. No matter what kind of actress you are.
You have to
I think it's important with age. Like you mentioned, Haley Steinfeld as Belle. I think as much as she would have been great, I love her. I mean, look at Dan Stevens, would have looked like an old creeper next to her once he became his human form, right? I think at least with the two people in Aladdin, they're of like age, so that's going to be a little better. Like, I hate when I see like weird old creeper guys with these young girls.
Yeah.
In these movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know I won't watch it regardless.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
I have to ask you, Arthur, did you go and see the Beauty and the Beast live action?
No.
Oh, I remember taking you to see the animated movie back when you were just a little tot.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh my god, okay, go ahead and age yourself, Jacqueline.
I've already said I'm 45 years old.
Yeah.
Many times.
Oh, no one knows my age. No, but although I've said my age many times.
And then now we have the casting of Genie. Now everybody knows Genie was played by Robin Williams, who everybody thinks was an incredible actor and comedian.
Because he was.
He had his moments. I found a lot of times that he came across as just like a cokehead, and I couldn't deal with that.
Well, again, he was.
Yeah, that's why I just found like that hyper over too much for me. I did think he was perfect as Genie. I'll give him that. He was amazing as Mrs. Doubtfire. He had some great serious roles as well.
Yeah, that 1 hour photo was amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he was a good actor. Some of his stuff, like I said, was just a little too ramped up for me. So of course Robin Williams passed, so he's not able to play Genie in the live action movie.
Yeah.
So they have cast his replacement, which will be Will Smith.
Ew.
I'm happy about that.
Ew. I like a couple of his movies. The one that came out, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I think it's called I forgot the title already.
Was it Concussion?
No, the one with
the Oscar bait one that everybody laughed at.
Yeah, Helen Mirren, Kate Winslet. What is it called? I'm trying to remember the title.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, I cannot think of the title of it. It was a trash bag movie, though.
The one that got all the Razzies instead of getting the Oscar.
Yeah,
you'd hoped.
I quite like the movie. I will say that. But my thing is with Will Smith. Number one, the Genie in Aladdin was, to me, one of the most coveted roles. If you were going to make a remake, I think they could have gone with somebody a little bit more not so douchebag. No offense to Will Smith. And it would have been who's Robin's friend, the older comedian as well, curly hair.
Curly hair.
I don't know who you're talking about.
God, he's hosted the Oscars.
Oh, Billy Crystal.
Billy Crystal.
Yes. I think they could have gone with him. They could have gone with Steve Martin.
I mean, I like Billy Crystal. I don't know if he's Genie.
Yeah, I don't know, because like Billy Crystal has that kind of whiny Jewish kind of delivery, right? I don't think that would have worked very well for the Genie.
Yeah.
Now, when Liz told me that Will Smith was going to be in this Aladdin, I was personally hoping he was going to play Jafar.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would have been way better as the villain than the Genie, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's a big draw. And with having two relatively Western unknowns as your leads, you're going to need someone there that puts the asses in the seats, right?
That's a good point.
And
people do love Will Smith.
I do.
Let's face it.
I'll tell you right now, you guys might hate him. I love Will Smith. Bad Boys and Bad Boys 2. Oh my God, come on, those movies are.
Oh, I love
amazing.
Bad Boys. He's got movies I love. I mean, I love Bad Boys. I love
but even
I'm Legend.
Martin Lawrence probably would have made a better Genie.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I'm thinking about Will Smith, and I just when I think about when he's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
For the most part, I just think about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I just found that so
corny. Corny's the word that comes to mind.
Corny.
Yeah, corny.
Like, I don't find it funny. I mean, when I think about Bad Boys, Will Smith was more the straight man.
Yeah.
Not the funny guy.
Yeah.
So did I love Martin Lawrence or did I love Will Smith, or was it them together? Probably them together was the magic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I can't. I was trying to think of who I would want to play the Genie, and I don't know.
Steve Martin, I think, would have been good. I think he would have been good. But because you have to remember, the magic with Genie was all of the voices that Robin Williams came up with. The only other person who I think is as talented to do that was what's the Canadian's name that Alanis Morissette made the song about?
Dave Coulier.
Oh, yeah, Dave Coulier.
Would
you know what? Fantastic. Fair point.
Yeah, would have been.
He's a little bit gone away, but he was.
Yeah.
But that's it, though. Would Dave Coulier's name put asses in the seats?
No. And the other thing too is, when we have Genie, we're not going to want to see an exactly 100% replica of Genie as Robin Williams, because people are going to be like, "Oh, you're just trying to be Robin Williams."
Exactly.
That's true. Oh, that's a good point.
Somebody's going to have to put themselves into it and not be a carbon copy.
Yeah.
But
people are going to say that's a horrible version. You can never be Robin Williams.
Well, but I think that Will Smith needs to keep in mind that he will be compared to the great performance of Robin Williams.
I think he's aware of that.
I hope so. I hope he's super aware in his.
My biggest surprise is that he didn't get his son a role in this movie. That's all he does is freaking get his horrible son acting job.
Stupid fucking philosophies and shit like that.
If our eyes are mirrors, how can we see?
Yeah, like, fuck out of here, bro. You're not deep. Go to school, for fuck's sakes.
Well, and there's the thing: the kids don't go to school because people say they're Scientologists.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
That's the rumor. Now, there's never been any proof. They've never once come out and said they're Scientologists. They haven't been caught at Scientologist, events, but they did donate money to a Scientologist thing. So.
That's why I kind of doubt that, because Scientology is all about putting their celebrities at the forefront. That's what they're about, right?
But do they want money more than they want celebrity at the front?
Well, more celebrity, like I was saying earlier, about people's obsession with celebrity will drive them to the church. Like, I kind of personally think that, like, Tom Cruise being such an out and devout fucking Scientologist is what drove a lot of people to it.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But maybe Will Smith has seen the hit that Tom Cruise has taken. People think he's a nut job, and his career has never been quite the same.
No, not at
all. If he is a Scientologist, I respect him for keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that your religious beliefs have to
need to be out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean?
Those kids are cuckoo, though. I can't deal with those
don't
kids.
Get me started. Carrying his fucking dreadlocks at the Met Gala. Like, what is wrong with you, kid? Disgusting. That's more disgusting than the contact lenses stuck in your eye. Like, ew.
dirty, nasty fucking hair.
So gross. Like, I don't need to see your old hair hanging around. Like, once you cut that, you sweep it into the garbage. Bye-bye. Although, they say you should put the hair outside because the birds will take it to make nests. So if you cut your hair in your home, as long as it's not your pubic hairs, please put a little pile of hair outside for the birds.
I'm going to do it with my pubes right now as we speak. No, good luck to Aladdin. I'm actually, to go back on the point that I was making earlier, I'm actually surprised that Mulan still has not had any casting, what do you call that? Casting announcements, because it's supposed to be it's slated for release next year. So Disney.
I'm surprised they're even doing Mulan, to be honest. As much as I love the movie Mulan, it wasn't like a Beauty and the Beast. It wasn't like a Little Mermaid or an Aladdin. It wasn't a hit like that. So I'm surprised that that's one of the first few that they're making.
It's because it's an empowering female story, right?
Exactly.
And let's face it, people are up in arms about that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to curtail to those needs, I guess.
But why doesn't Disney make some more good cartoons instead of just remaking their old movie? Like, if you did such a good job in the Beauty and the Beast, animated version, why do you have to remake it 20 years later?
It's the trend in Hollywood. It's been going on for the last, I want to say, probably decade. These remakes of movies, some have proven to be fruitful, and some have just been outright, oh God, like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
Like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a success box office wise, but it was bombed by the critics.
It was a garbage movie.
Well, they're making another one, so
I'll watch it. Like, I watched the first one, I watched the second one. If they come with the third, I'll watch it, but I still think it's trash.
Yeah.
For Disney though, I think it's because of them, spending the $7 billion to buy out Star Wars, so they don't really care about hatching new stories. They want to bank in on the Star Wars money, right?
Of course, yeah,
exactly. And I can't fucking blame them.
And Marvel, right?
And also Marvel,
they own parts of Marvel, so yeah.
There you go. So why worry about writing new kid stories? And like, let's face it, the old Disney stories they still hold up.
Oh yeah.
The morals still hold up. They're still applicable to everyday life. So just nobody wants to see animation anymore. People want to see live action mixed with really good CGI.
Because you know what I think.
It depends. I mean, like, look how good Inside and Out did. Right.
What was that?
That's the one with the people inside the little girl's brain. It was the animated movie that came out.
Oh yeah. Was that Pixar?
I don't know if that was.
That's Pixar. That's Disney Pixar. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think that Disney is trying to prove here was our masterpieces. Let me show you what our new technology can do now. I think though it's more expensive.
Exactly. Like, look, I don't imagine Jungle Book was cheap to make.
Oh God! And they're making a second one. I mean, I will say the first one I loved. And let me tell you, I did not like the cartoon, but I love.
I haven't watched that because I just hate the. This is the thing, Disney. Please don't make movies I hate. I hate Peter Pan. Please don't make it. It's such a boring, annoying story. And please don't make Pinocchio. Sorry, I don't care about Pinocchio.
Too late. They've already announced that they will be doing Pinocchio.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're doing Pinocchio already.
The live action Lion King would be interesting. I don't know how they would achieve it.
They're doing that.
Yeah,
John Oliver's playing Zazu.
Huh. Yeah.
What's his name? Seth Rogen.
Yeah, and I think. Wait a minute. I'm trying to think who's
James
playing.
Earl Jones is being Mufasa.
Oh, so they're gonna get him back as Mufasa. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's good. I'm trying to remember who is playing Simba. Someone famous, obviously. Oh, Donald Glover.
Oh, nice. Right on.
Yeah. So that's coming. Well, watch for that.
Most of that sounds like it'll please the regressive. So congratulations, Disney.
They also have casted me in the role of Ryan in my new movie called Ryan, just me. No Jacqueline or Arthur.
It's always the star of his own movie.
Yeah.
Very long title, but it's very simplified.
And so if he could figure out how to run the YouTube account, he'd be doing it on his own too.
Yeah.
I'd forget.
Just an hour of him telling everyone how he's better than them.
Exactly.
Sorry to spoil your show for you, Ryan.
how he's skinny. Oh, by the way, Ryan, I saw somebody skinnier than you yesterday.
Oh.
This was the skinniest man I've ever seen that wasn't like being starved to death.
Oh.
He was so tall. He was just a guy shopping at my work yesterday, but he was so, I mean, his waist. I mean, I've never seen a man's waist that little.
He is an infidel.
It was very
How dare
skinny.
he? I will have him murdered.
I was very angry
of the world.
It has to be the skinniest waist in the world. Let's talk about this because, okay, I don't know. You guys are probably too young to remember Unsolved Mysteries, the TV show Unsolved Mysteries.
No, I remember that.
Okay. I like things like that. I like weird crimes that people don't know how to, how they happened and stuff. So this week they announced that they found a Swiss couple who disappeared from their farm in the Swiss Alps during World War II. They were found 75 years later. They disappeared August 15th, 1942. They left to go milk their cows in a meadow and never returned home. And they left behind their 6 children. A worker found them last week. They must have fallen into a crevasse and died there. So, I mean, 75 years, their children have been waiting for them. I guess there's at least 2 children left behind. The parents' name were Marceline and Francine, sorry for this, Dumoulin. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, 75 years. Luckily, some kids are left. Can you imagine dying, never knowing what happened to your parents like that?
Of course.
But they were found. I just find that, and the things that these glaciers and these ice things hold, the mountains, they hold and preserve and spit out is insane to me.
Well, it's not even like the oldest things they found, right?
Yeah.
I mean, first bodies recovered in like Siberia and stuff, hundreds of years old, and I mean it's weird because you can kind of see like the what's their death throes kind of in their face still.
Yeah.
The ice is it's a cruel fucking bitch, that's for sure.
Well, remember the
what's his name? They call him Tutsi, the Italian caveman. Well, I guess assuming he's like a cave person era. They found him, and you can see his skin, his hair color, all the clothes he's wearing. They can tell how he died.
The Mayans, and was that in Mexico or is it in the girl that's well preserved because she was?
That's Peru.
Yeah, that was up in Peru. Yep, up in the Andes.
Yeah.
That was, let me tell you something. I hate the idea of dead bodies like being shown, but it is very fascinating because it shows you how well preserved these bodies are. Ice is a good thing.
See, I kind of get that sentiment, but like I feel a little weird. Not weird. Sorry. Mm-hmm. If it's a fresh death, like within a couple weeks, month, maybe, it kind of turns my stomach. 100 years old, to me, it's just fascinating.
Fascinating, yeah.
Like I can't look away.
Yeah.
Right. Mummies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
I cannot look away. It just blows my mind that
how beautifully preserved they are.
Right, like that you can take organic matter and keep it for hundreds, maybe possibly even thousands of years.
Yeah, I agree.
It's insane.
That little girl in Italy. You guys know what I'm talking about? The most well embalmed body. She still looks like she was like she had died a couple of weeks ago. It's amazing. The Chinese woman, I think she's about 500 years old at this point. That's well preserved.
Eva Peron.
Yeah.
Oh, Eva Peron.
You guys ever see the pictures of Eva Peron? Yeah.
Ferdinand Marcos, even.
Was he? Did they mummify him or preserve him?
They preserved him. Yeah.
Didn't they do that with Vladimir Lenin's body as well?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, and it like you can still go view it. It looks like he died maybe a week or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
fascinating. I think it's absolutely fascinating because, again, I'm not to have like this weird, oh my God, Ryan loves death kind of a thing. Actually, I'm freaked out by death. But it is super cool sometimes to see how science, because you can't say, oh my God, this is a technology thing. That's not technology at all, girl. That is, hundreds of years old. This is 75 years. But to me, it's fascinating because it can help improve science. You don't know what, those bodies hold sometimes. I just think I think it's cool. But
it is. I mean, up here in our Arctic, they found some of the bodies of one of the failed the failed mission to get across the Arctic Circle, right? To make a Northwest Passage. And, you know, they're studying their bodies, just looking for old viruses and seeing how you can fight them and stuff like that even.
Yeah, it's weird. And, like, that's one of the crazy thoughts to me about this whole, like, finding old bodies is because you don't know what they might be carrying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, our immune systems, you'd imagine, would be a little bit stronger now than they were. But
before,
if this is something that we haven't seen in 1,000 or so years, we can't be immune to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's one of the concerns about all these, the tundra melting, right? Up north, the permafrost. Once that starts to melt, who knows what's being held in the dirt?
Exactly.
Oh,
the
of course. Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
But in terms of... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead if you want to finish, because I was going to move on.
Oh, I was going to talk about Unsolved Mysteries, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to say, too.
Oh, okay.
So that's what got me thinking about Unsolved Mysteries. And one of the ones in the last few years that has really freaked me out every time I think about this or this video, Elisa Lam. So this was a girl who lived in Canada. She went to Los Angeles. Now, she did have a history of mental illness. She had to take medicines. I can't remember if she was bipolar but something like that. She had to take medicine. Yeah. And there's videotape of her and she disappeared. Nobody knew what happened to her. Later on, they found her body in the water tank up on top of the roof. They looked at the surveillance video, and she's acting very strangely. So clearly she had a mental break at this point. She's acting like she's playing kind of like peekaboo on somebody out in the hallway, or she's scared. She's hiding in the corner from the doors. That's what freaks me out, because, you know, it's so weird. And I mean, of course, I go to a supernatural thing. I know that she was mentally ill. But the thing that's very surprising is people don't know how she got into the water tank, because they're saying it was too heavy. It should have been too heavy for her to lift and to climb in at the same time. But people drank the water with her body in it.
That's how they found her.
They said it was a weird flavored water. Isn't that disturbing?
A decomposing body. By now.
Oh, so disturbing. And oh my god.
I've watched the video. Obviously, this just got really her in the elevator, and she seems manic as hell.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, again, it's hard to tell from a video if she was manic because someone or something, however you want to categorize it, was chasing her or whatever, or if she was just having some kind of a breakdown. I do agree, though. The mysterious part, though, is how the hell did she end up in a water tank?
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Because even if she went up there to hide, like they were saying, like if you see the pictures, it's hard to climb up the ladder, open the roof, and climb in and close the roof behind you.
Well,
the roof was closed.
There's always some truth behind when people say stuff like that. You know, there's always these conspiracy theorists or whatever, who are like, "Oh my god, but you could definitely do it if your adrenaline is like." Yeah, but I don't really quite think her adrenaline was super.
I mean, who's
crazy.
to say her manic break didn't come at the same time somebody was trying to off her?
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I wonder who was trying to off her, but and not to discredit that, but it is. There's a very big, as much as I love, you know, looking at 100-year-old dead bodies, there's a fascination with unsolved mysteries. You think about Black Dahlia, you think about Jack the Ripper, you think about what was that? The murder that happened in this from I think 1800s in the United States. It was like in this beautiful house that never got solved, and it's just astounding. Like, how, why, who?
Well, that's it. I mean, people are still trying to solve Jack the Ripper. That'll never be solved.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I personally don't think it was the same person.
You don't think so?
Nah, not me. Not me personally.
Have you watched any of this horrible show? American Jack the Ripper, something like that. It's you guys know who H.H. Holmes is? He's the guy who, during the Chicago World's Fair, had the hotel that he was killing people in.
Yes.
It was based on the character in J.J. March or something from Horror Story Hotel. So that guy is considered the first modern day American serial killer. Well, now his grandson is trying to prove that he went over to the UK and was Jack the Ripper for that time.
What is he trying to prove? What's wrong with you?
Because it's infamy.
It's such a horrible show.
It puts his family in an infamous spot, right? And like
he can sell a book, he can make a documentary, he can make a TV show.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's all about the Benjamin.
Go on tours and talk about it, make money. Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Same with Black Dahlia. They'll never solve Black Dahlia. Whoever did it has died since then, and you're never going to find out who it is.
The most fascinating thing about Black Dahlia was this is going to sound so creepy, the perfection of how it was done. The cleanliness of that crime was just, to this day, I think still baffles people.
It's
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's why I kind of believe the one guy who was saying it's his father. He's a police officer or something.
Oh, yeah.
And his father was the artist who was also a butcher or a surgeon. I can't remember exactly. But
I had like a medical thing in his house,
Yeah, the pose that the body was found was similar to like his most famous painting or some nonsense like that called Taurus or something like that. Arms placed in like the shape of horns. I don't know. It seemed rather convincing. I mean, again, I'm not the wild speculation type. Like I was saying on the last show, I want facts. You know, I want irrefutable proof before I start believing stuff. But to me, it seemed the most convincing.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's weird though. There's so many of these weird little mysteries, like people going missing and just nothing. I mean, even like that famous one, the what's her name, JonBenet Ramsey.
Yes.
You know, you have no idea what the hell went
all
down
the
there.
modern forensics in the world at the time.
Yeah.
And we're probably never going to know who killed her. I don't think it was the family. I felt bad that the family went through everything they went through.
I know. Part of me feels bad for the mom because she passed away, right? And
people said she passed away before her name was cleared.
Yeah. And I think there are just some things in life that were never meant to solve. And it's super fascinating. Like Elisa Tam, like what caused her to? I get it. Like,
well, she didn't take her medicine for a couple days, but you gotta wonder. Like, you know, that part I understand. But yeah, how'd she?
But is it really that quick? Because they always say that the effects of medicine.
A couple days.
Yeah. Oh,
it takes a couple days. Yeah, only takes a couple days to start. And if she had a high stressor thing like traveling.
That's true.
That's, you know, those sort of things. A big stressor will help you kind of snap faster. I love like knowing about like the serial killers, like this one, the Long Island serial killer.
Oh, have
you ever heard of that one?
The prostitutes? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So they found at least 17 victims on the same beach between 1997 and 2013, and one of them is even a toddler, a little girl that they don't even have the identity.
And again, they're saying perfect crimes. Perfect crimes.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is going. I mean, this is not a completely abandoned beach.
Yeah.
There's you know, roads, people drive there, but he's able to go there, and I'm assuming he could be more than one, but they're all apparently sex workers.
Most of them.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, most of them are sex workers. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, 17 women, and there could be more. Who knows where? Maybe he's dumping the body somewhere else now.
Yeah. Well, the other thing to me is with these people who are able to perfect crimes, right? I wonder where to me the most fascinating thing isn't as much as the crime, but how do you do? Not that I'm interested in doing it, but like, how do you do that? Like, what did you? You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you?
Sociopathic disassociation.
Yeah.
It's weird, but like some people just don't have that level of empathy that the most of us, like, you know, the majority of the population has. You know, I've said this time and time again, like, I could kill, but it would have to be a crime of passion. You know what I mean? Like, if I seen somebody trying to murder my wife, I could probably kill that person and feel fairly okay with myself, or in a self-defense kind of manner. But these people, most of them, they just disassociate that from reality. It's
I don't know if I could ever do like if, let's say, The Purge were to come true.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that. I mean, yeah, I have anger. Yeah, I've done some wrong things in my life. But it doesn't please me to see people be hurt or in pain.
No.
That's my whole thing. It's kind of crazy to sometimes think, what can drive? I think that the mind of a criminal is absolutely, again, that word I keep saying, fascinating, but it is amusing almost to study, because what is it that, besides the lack of empathy, what is it that is it just because you wanted to see someone in pain? Did you just, maybe, were you angry that day? Were you not feeling so good? Like Jeffrey Dahmer, because I think he's done, what, 3 or 4 interviews in the past, but none of his explanations proved fruitful to kind of understand, why is it that you did what you did?
I believe it's an addiction to power, an addiction to violence. It's an unfortunate thing, but the moment you start committing violence, you do get addicted to it. I noticed this a lot when I was young and we were in high school, and people would start getting into fights.
That's
and the
true.
moment people realize, like, oh, I'm not made out of glass, I can do this, they start to get addicted to the violence and the power that being violent gets you. That's always been my take on it. I mean, I could be wrong.
No, that's a good point.
I'm not a fucking psychologist. I can't say the inner workings of these people's brains, but that's kind of always how I've perceived it.
Yeah, of course.
No, it makes it good.
It's fascinating.
It is. It absolutely is.
Because, to me, it's kind of like, why are you so crazy? Like, when you think about a toddler and why a toddler does what they do, it's like, what is wrong with you? Calm down, child.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And it's with like the whole Gilgo Beach thing. Like, what is your purpose of doing this? Like,
just to kill?
Just to kill. Is it a thrill for you?
Yeah, it probably is. It's like, the Zodiac killer. It wasn't just the killing. Part of his thrill was taunting the police, right?
Yeah.
I'm smarter than you. You'll never catch me, and they never did. Or there's the BTK.
Yeah.
Right. That guy was creepy as hell. He scares me because he literally went into people's houses in the middle of the day and freaking killed them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, back to the mysteries thing, though. Like, there's so many that we kind of, and it goes back to what I was saying on last Wednesday about how we just kind of write this shit off, like the Bermuda Triangle. You can't tell me that there's not something fucking happening there. I'm not going to say what it is. I don't like to speculate, but you can't tell me that there's not something fucking going on there.
There couldn't be that many sinkings and crashes.
Exactly.
There and not. I mean, it doesn't happen anywhere else in that frequency.
Right. But it's one of those things. We'll never get an answer. We'll never actually know what the hell is going on, because people are so quick to just write it off as fucking nonsense.
Yeah, cuckoos.
Right.
Sasquatches.
Exactly. Like, the moment you say, like, oh, I was out in the woods, I seen something that looked like a bear, but it wasn't a bear, but like, yeah, you're fucking crazy. Well, why?
It's just a bear walking on his back legs.
Yeah. Like, okay, that's cool. I know they do that, but someone who spends that kind of time in the woods, they know what a fucking bear looks like.
Right?
Yeah.
But again, even me, like, I'd write that off. I'd be like, who the fuck, you're nuts, bro?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, especially, I guess to me, it would depend on who was the source.
Who was saying it?
Like, if it was somebody I knew that went into the woods and did mushrooms the whole time, I'd be like, buddy, I can't believe you.
Yeah.
But if it was someone like,
Okay.
Well, it's somebody that I know that wasn't prone to, like, hysteria.
Well, and that's it too, right? Like, if it's someone who gets, like, scared by the most mundane stuff, no, I'm not going to take your word for it.
Yeah.
Your mind's playing tricks on you. You're already scared going into the situation. Yeah. Obviously, your brain's going to start fucking with you.
It's fried, yeah.
Somebody like my husband's stepfather. Mm-hmm. This is a guy who hunts all the time. He goes on, like, month-long hunting trips, like, way out in the bush, right? If he came home and told me he saw a Sasquatch, I would believe him. This guy doesn't get excited by anything other than, hunting and fishing.
The most convincing evidence I ever seen for the Sasquatch came from Les Stroud, Survivor Man. I don't know if you guys know who Survivor Man is.
I've heard of him, yeah.
So he's just this Canadian guy. I believe he's from Ontario, and he goes and he just throws himself in the woods with nothing but a couple of cameras. That's it, and he survives. Yeah. And he did this show, I think, about 2 or 3 years ago, and he was talking to a guy in Montana, and just a lot of the stuff they showed, and they even showed a video that this guy took of said Sasquatch, and it is the most convincing damn thing I've ever seen. It was actually really, really interesting. Like, broken down logs set up in triangles on cliff sides. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying that a person could do that.
this is the problem. Like we were talking about the aliens, is that there's assholes out there that for whatever reason they want to perpetrate a myth, and then they dress up like a Sasquatch and walk around, or and
to me, it's no different than internet trolling.
You're reading the fact, right? You're reading the facts or the possibilities to other people.
Yeah. Well, like there's tons of these weird mysteries, at least that I found. And I mean, most times I look at them and I don't want to look into the backstory. I just kind of want to be kind of shocked and awed by it.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, have you ever found, like, so you click on a link, and then now you're down the rabbit hole on the Wikipedia or one of the other ones, where you're just like, suddenly it's 3 o'clock in the morning and you're like, oh my God, I got to get up for work.
But that ties into, this actually ties into what I was talking about last week when we were talking about the whole kind of maybe divine intervention thing or whatever. That one of the biggest mysteries to me, again, is that book. I think about it almost every time before I go to sleep, like, because it's a language that no one knows, if it's even a language, and it's like, people just want to know what's in the book and what it's about. Like, it could be something as simple as this is how you wipe your butt, or it could be something really profound. And I don't, and it's been God knows how many years since they found this book. There are just some things I think in life that we're never going to find out about.
No, not with our modern understanding of how things work and our hubris as to what history was.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's fun to speculate. Like, it's fun to kind of say your bullshit stories and stuff like that. But at the same point in time, you shouldn't believe any of this shit until there's evidence. Like, one of my favorites was like during the election when everyone was trying to say fucking Ted Cruz was a Zodiac. I love that. Like, that shit was so fucking funny to me.
What? I did not hear that. That guy does not have the smarts to be the Zodiac killer.
Yeah, right. But like, it was actually a really big, like.
Is he even old enough to be the Zodiac killer?
No, not at all. But it was still funny as hell. It's fucking hilarious.
His dad killed Kennedy too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Even that, like, there's another one of those fucking weird mysteries, like. But it's, I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, like, it's a pretty fucking open and shut case. I mean,
but people will never believe it. I mean, that's the thing, is I've watched a lot of JFK, assassination documentaries, and I mean, obviously Lee Harvey Oswald was one of the shooters, but I do think there's enough little weird things that maybe there was another person. I don't know.
What was it? I read this on Reddit a little while ago. It was this weird conspiracy. So essentially, a guy invented time travel, went back in time, prevented the JFK murder from happening. JFK, in turn, fucked the entire United States up, ended up getting into a nuclear war with Russia. So Buddy
ended up... That's the premise of 11/22/63.
So maybe that's what it was. I don't know, but it was so fucking funny to me. So he had to go back in time. Story. Yeah, he had to go back in time and actually fucking be the guy on the grassy knoll because, he actually fucked history up. I love that. That shit was so fucking funny to me.
Well, that's the thing. You can't, if time travel ever gets invented, you can't fuck history around. It's already happened. Don't change stuff.
Yeah, but here's a little paradox. If time travel gets invented, it's always existed.
Well, I like the theory where time travel can only exist to the future. You'll never be able to go to the past. Basically, what they're saying is, like, you have to invent the machine, and the machine will always have to be in its place, and you'll only be able to travel to a future point where the machine is already in existence.
Yeah. Oh, that's a cool concept. Yeah, that's a cool concept, actually, if they were able to do it. Because I will say this, I would be afraid to go back in the past. I don't, wow, I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't want to change things that have happened already. To me, personally, just within myself, I wouldn't want to change things that have already happened to me.
Yeah.
Because, again, if that was meant to happen, bring me to the point of where I am, if I were to change it, like, would I have...
But do you believe in meant to, or was that just those coincidences led you to who you are?
Both. I believe in both. It's hard.
I would love only travel to the past in a very safe situation. I couldn't be seen because I don't want to be killed by somebody who's like, what's this weird person doing here?
Yeah.
I don't catch any other diseases. You know, and I don't want to, obviously I wouldn't change anything because any little thing you do could like end your life too.
I'm traveling back to 1999 telling my dad to invest in Amazon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'd be like. I'd go back to the 80s, invest in freaking Microsoft
or Apple. Yeah. Fuck that.
I would have, like in 1986, before my sister was born, I would have told my mother, invest in everything. Invest in all of me.
I thought you were going to say take the pill.
Yeah, exactly.
No, because then I would have been the first. Oh, actually, no, I don't want to be the firstborn. But yeah, I don't want to change certain points of history.
Yeah. Even as horrible as like the Holocaust was.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
I mean, we're at a place in our world where, I mean, if you then go and say you take Hitler out, right? You don't know if somebody worse is coming along.
That's true. And if we would have been able to stop that one in time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, these things have happened. And I think once you start fucking around with those things, you don't know what you're going to get. Kind of like the whole JFK thing. You turned into a horrible leader that nuked the world, right?
Yeah.
In the story by Stephen King. So who knows? But, you know, send us in your comments or questions. Thanks to Sister Patty for listening. I hope your back is feeling better. Apparently you're home still, so I guess your back is not better. But have a great day. We'll see you on our regular Monday show, and hopefully you'll listen into the TV version on Sunday. We're going to talk Game of Thrones, of course.
Oh,
And have a great day. And I have to stop the broadcast, so I have to go here. Sorry.
Take care.